Hey folks, Mike Johnson here. If it's got wheels and an engine, you're in the right place. On this channel, we dive into car repairs, maintenance tips, and everything you need to keep your ride running smooth. If you're into cars and want to keep learning, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. All right, enough talking. Let's get into it.
Changing the spark plug is one of the most common maintenance procedures. The job sounds easy in theory, which is why many vehicle owners want to try it out for themselves. And it's true, on some vehicles, changing spark plugs is relatively easy. On others, however, the job can be difficult because the plugs are hard to reach. So, if you're a beginner, before you decide to change your spark plugs, you first need to find out how easy they are to access. On four-cylinder engines, the plugs are often located under the ignition coils just above the engine. If your vehicle has this design, and you're feeling brave, you might consider changing the plugs yourself. How to change spark plugs. Spark plugs do what their name suggests, and they ignite or spark the air-fuel mixture inside the engine. The result is a series of controlled explosions that set the engine's pistons in motion. Each piston helps turn the crankshaft, creating the rotational force needed to propel your car down the road. Usually, there is a spark plug for each of the engine cylinders. Spark plugs are considered a maintenance item and should be replaced at the intervals suggested by the vehicle manufacturer. You'll find this information in your owner's manual. Now, are you ready to change your car's spark plugs? Good, then let's get started. Tools needed to change spark plugs. The tools needed to change spark plugs vary depending on the type of car you own. In general, however, you'll need air compressor, optional, anti-seize ratchet set, ratchet, sockets, and extensions, repair manual or access to a repair database. Torque wrench safety goggles spark plug gap adjustment tool, only required for spark plugs that need to be spaced, spark plug socket. Spark plug replacement instructions, typical four-cylinder engine before you start, bear in mind, all vehicles are different. The information below is generic and for entertainment and educational purposes only. Be sure to follow the repair information for your specific application. Repair manuals, such as those from Chilton, are useful, but a subscription to a repair database is even better. ALLDATA and Mitchell 1 both have single vehicle subscriptions for do-it-yourselfers that provide detailed factory repair information. You can read more about accessing quality repair information in this article. Spark plugs are located under the ignition coils on this 2007 Honda Civic. Spark plug removal on a typical four-cylinder engine. 1. Put on your safety glasses. 2. Make sure both the engine and ignition are switched off. The engine must also be cold. 3. Use compressed air to remove any dirt or debris around the ignition coil. Use a rag if an air compressor is not available. 4. Remove the electrical connector from the ignition coil. This usually involves pressing the tab on the connector while pulling the connector away from the coil. 5. Use a ratchet and socket to remove the retainers from the ignition coil. 6. Pull the ignition coil up and away from the engine to remove it from the spark plug. 7. Use a ratchet, extension, and spark plug socket, with rubber insert, to reach inside the spark plug bore. 8. Turn the spark plug counterclockwise to loosen it and remove it from its bore. 9. Repeat the above steps for each spark plug. Removing the ignition coil electrical connector. Remove ignition coil retaining clips. Remove ignition coil. Using a ratchet, extension, and spark plug socket, with rubber insert, reach inside the spark plug bore. The spark plug has been removed from its bore. Spark plug installation on a typical four-cylinder engine. 1. Compare the new spark plugs with the old ones to make sure both are of the same design. 2. Even if you're installing a pre-spaced spark plug, you need to check the gap to make sure it's been set correctly at the factory. Here's how to check the gap with a coin-type tool. Consult a repair manual or repair database to determine the correct gap for your plugs. Insert the spark plug gap tool between the spark plug electrodes. Pass the edge of the tool between the electrodes to determine the measurement. Note, you can also use a Y-type spacer tool, instead of a coin-type tool, with built-in setting pins. 3. Some copper spark plugs are not pre-spaced, so the gap must be set by hand. To do this, measure the gap as described in step 2. Then use a spark plug gap adjustment tool to increase or reduce the gap as required. Warning, and never attempt to adjust the gap on platinum or iridium spark plugs, as the electrodes may be damaged. 4. Coat spark plug threads with a light application of anti-seize. 5. Place the spark plug in the insulated spark plug socket. Then use the extension to carefully thread the plug into the engine by hand. Take care not to cross-thread the plug, this could easily damage the cylinder head threads. Note, if the plug doesn't go in easily, the cylinder head threads may need cleaning with a thread tap. 6. Use a torque wrench to tighten the spark plug to the manufacturer's specifications. This information can be found in a repair manual or online repair database. 7. Position the coil on the spark plug. 8. Make sure the coil mounting hole aligns with the stud or hole on the engine. 9. Gently press down on the coil. 10. Reinstall the spool retainers, then use a ratchet and socket to tighten until snug. If you're not sure how tight the fastener should be, use a torque wrench to tighten it to the manufacturer's specifications. This information can be found in a repair manual or online repair database. 11. Reinstall the coil's electrical connector. You'll hear it click once it's securely in place. 12. Repeat the above steps for the remaining spark plugs. 13. Start the engine to check your work. Check spark plug gap. Note, an old spark plug is used for demonstration purposes. Thread spark plug by hand. Use a torque wrench to tighten the spark plug to the manufacturer's specifications. Position the coil on the plug and make sure it lines up with the stud. Tighten the coil retainer. In conclusion, changing spark plugs is a straightforward process that can significantly enhance your vehicle's performance and fuel efficiency. By following the steps outlined in this video, you can save time and money while ensuring your engine runs smoothly. Remember to consult your vehicle's manual for specific recommendations and always prioritize safety. With a little patience and the right tools, you can tackle this task with confidence. Thank you for watching, and happy driving!